So for authentication I'm using JWT, and let's see how it's kind of like work. And I have already installed that package like previously. I also noticed that we might just want to limit this package to like maybe for auth and hasher. I'm pretty sure we are using both, and I'm not sure if we need core, and maybe I don't know, we will see. Like as of now I'm just importing the whole thing, and it's like 3 or 4 packages inside it, but we will see what we need. And let's import that. So how it's gonna work, and sign, and in JWT sign function we provide data. For example, if we are in login, and as of now I'm just simply sending user ID, but we will be doing like validating our username and password, and comparing it to database, and if it's correct then we get the user ID and return the ID in user. And let's see what it kind of like. Let's assume like the user is already like valid, and we get user ID, could be like 1 or any ID. Then we kind of like provide a secret key, and I defined it in JWT secret key, and that is kind of like it's not super secure, and the file will be on server side. I'm thinking that we could just for config we could just compile it inside our jar file, and I'm not sure, we will see. But I don't really want this thing to be in public. So what we can like define, let's 1 2 3 for test purposes. I'm just gonna use 1 2 3, and for actual use you might want to use a random string, not this key, but like you can generate it. And now after we can run this function, JWT return this string, and it has like first method. I think let's go to, yes, the first thing is like header, which tells the JWT what the kind of algorithm it's using. The second thing is data payload, and third is the signature, which you can like the key that we are using to decode it. And once we get this key, and we will basically send this key in our header file as a token, and let's see how it's gonna decode unsigned. And user, no, in that we simply pass our key, and the secret key 1 2 3, and if we kind of change the secret key, we will get a simple error, because now it thinks like data is manipulated because we haven't used the same key. So how it's gonna play out, so on login function, and we have to run our logic and compare the credentials from database. And let's assume that user is a valid user, and we kind of send a request. Now in response we get this JW token, and now this route is protected. If I delete this token and send a request, I get an error. And let's see not stored reads, not stored read. Now how are we going to verify whether the token is valid or not? We are doing this by using buddy auth authenticated method, and it runs on request. And let's see what is request. So before that I was like calling params and defining params, and I noticed that that is just for like you don't have to like specify it. It's just for like if you want to access params earlier from that route, this is the only purpose they serve. Maybe then you want to do that. And if you like left it empty and provide a handler, it will automatically inject the request the request object. In Clojure they are not objects, so it's a request is a map. So handler will already have a request map, and from that you can like very authenticate. Authenticate works on request object, and if it's not authenticated, we are returning error, and we should be returning in response.error, and we will talk about it in short. And read dot line number 8, because it's error not error. So, and it should be like some custom error where we define like something was wrong, right? So as of now I'm just sending error, and let's add a valid token that we generated from request, and I copied it, and let's send it now. Once I send a token, now it's like everything is working correctly. So what we are printing, one thing I'm getting is header and identity, and identity is the data we have encoded. Now that data is decoded when we log in and like send some data that comes out from identity. And in header we are specifying authorization. It's a token based authorization, and there is the token that we are using. And from there on you can like add extra data, like for how long you want the token to be valid. And I think that is like how we gonna use authentication for in JWT. And we will simply, if you are building SPA, you might you will store that token in browser, and for requesting, for each time you want to request a protected resource, you will add that token. And yes, and on backend how it's verifying that. So we are using a wrap authentication middleware, and it takes a function, and that function is also coming from Buddy. I think most of the validation stuff is handled by Buddy, and we are not doing much. And I kind of don't like having a less control, but I'm pretty sure there will be a way to like if you want to extend it, I'm pretty sure there must be a way, but I haven't found it yet. Like there was a documentation, but I couldn't understand it, or maybe I could understand it, but like I was unable to manage to work. Like it was not working properly for me for some reason. I think I have to like spend more time to really understand it. So in here, so JWS signed, we provide that secret key that we are using from app.config. Yes, it's using the same key, else it will not work for obvious reasons. And yes, I also like noticed that in Composure you can like define context API, then you can define, and now it's like we kind of like have a prefix. And so there was a package called Composure API. I think this is the package you meant to use for API, but I think I'm already using Composure, and it provides Swagger, and I think there are a lot of things you can generate the documentation for Swagger and stuff like that. I think yeah, we will look into it, but not today. What else? So this is like where the middleware is defined. Authentication, we are using authorization. Authentication, yes, this is the method it's using, and you can, if you want to like dig deeper, you can read in here. And I also noticed that in migrations we don't have to like specify SQL. There is a way in migrators you can use custom schema, like there is the documentation how you're gonna do that, and migration up config and do the stuff. I think we can simply call functions and stuff like that in here, but I haven't looked into much. I think I just found it out like 1 hour ago, but I think I'm just fine with SQL for now. But for larger projects, I think SQL might get kind of like tricky to manage or read. So let's see what else I changed. Yeah, I can. So for rendering JSON and building response, and there was a middleware for Ring, but it kind of like didn't work out, and so as of now I'm using Ring's utility function response. What it does, let's require that, require as our response, let's add nil. So it takes a body and it returns an object, and you can also like provide header and stuff. So I basically, as in here, I simply update the header with the sock, and generate string is simply converting the response to the response to like JSON, and so this would be like in login response.ok, it's simply Eden file, and it's converting into JSON. This is where we convert, and since it response takes a body, so it will be represented as a body, and after that once we like get this thing back, I'm inserting a custom header for content type, and yeah, like this is how I'm getting my application to render JSON. And later on, for you can also like my method, created a method where we can also like provide a custom status code, and that goes same for errors. And let's see what else. Response, there is a like in here there is a list of error codes. We can use a status code for REST API and their meanings, and you can like, if you like create an entry, maybe you can create return 201 not found. Maybe the most important are like in 204 400. Yeah, and one thing is like when we call this buddy authentication request in here, I think it would be like much nicer if we could do it in our code file. And since we want to like make it protected, maybe if there was a way we could call it like a callback or something, I don't know. And I think if we like going to do that if thing on each protected route, it's gonna like yeah, it's more like a code smell where you doing the same thing over and over. Like you have like 100 APIs, now you're gonna call the authentication 100 times. And what if you want to like change a bit, like there is some logic you want to change, are you going to like change your 100 files? So I think there should be a way where we could simply just protect our protected routes and validate before requesting it, but I haven't found it. I might look into it. And yeah, so what else have we changed anything? I think no, I think that was about it. And let's save this file. All the code is in origin in here. Like you can find all the code in on GitHub. Here's the URL. I might add in description. I guess that's about it for today.